Natalie, you have served as the Atlanta City Council District 5 representative for the last 20 years. How has the work being part of the City Council changed over those 2 decades, and how have you changed as a civil servant?
Thank you so much for that question. In 20 years, a lot has happened. When I initially took office, we weren't as focused on social media, the email exchanges. We had actually people coming down to meet with us and writing old-fashioned letters. But the beauty of that was that we were connecting with people. Now that we have moved for a period now where there's more social media, where we've had the COVID interruption of our day-to-day activities, we are more and more reliant upon our internet and our ability to connect with voters in unique ways. And that has been very exciting, and it has resulted in more engagement, which has been really good. The issues have changed as well. Gentrification has been an issue that has plagued our city, and having that as an issue became a challenge that we had to address. And we have worked incrementally to improve that, to make sure that we don't lose our legacy families as we continue to welcome our new and our growth. Thank you.
I've talked to thousands of voters over the course of this campaign, and many have talked to me about their frustrations around the city just not working, yard trimmings not being picked up, money being sent back that's been unspent. Ms. Archibong, you talk a lot about your record, but that record is one that's problematic. You've had unlawful ethics violations dealing with your family and the city, and you have also had issues around task forces that you've led. 2013, you led a sidewalk task force. 8 years later, our sidewalks are still a mess. My question is one a voter put to me. Why should we give a promotion to someone who hasn't done a good job?
The question is fair from the vantage point of someone who's served for 20 years, does have a record, but also have a record of accomplishments. The better question is, why give the job to a novice? Why give the job to someone with no experience? I have had a number of successes. If you've been to the Edgewood Retail District, that's my work. If you've driven down Memorial Drive and you've seen the reversible lane, the suicide lane removed, that was my work. The $1 million of sidewalk improvements along Memorial Drive and other corridors, that's my work. 2 LED certified new fire stations, that's my work. 2 new public libraries, that's my work. Anybody can take a snapshot and throw rocks. I've done hard work. I am proud of my record. I deserve to serve the constituents that have allowed me to serve them for the past 20 years. This is a promotion that should be won by someone who knows how to serve. I do know how to serve.
And you have 30 seconds.
I think that I've heard very clearly from so many voters that fresh leadership to make sure that our city is actually working again is what we need. We know we face so many challenges, and too often the city hasn't been responsive. The city hasn't fixed the things that we have asked for. We really have just seen a city in which we're doubting what our future looks like. I believe that my experience of getting things done and of bringing a fresh perspective is exactly what folks are asking for right now at City Hall.
This question is for Mr. Russell. It's a twofer. The first part is a yes or no, and the second part. So in the first part, are you related to the late, great Herman Russell? Are you his son, Mike Russell?
No.
Second part, you have been saying a lot of things about our city. You've been saying how many things are wrong and how many things you can't believe. And, I had a college professor to say to me once that it is easy to have an opinion about something when you know very little about it. You haven't been here very long. Is my professor correct?
I've been in this city because I chose to come to this city. And I'm in this race to make this a better city. Of all the things that are facing our city today, I have the skill set more than anybody on this stage to handle them, starting with crime, law enforcement, city management, being responsible and careful with your tax dollars. That's why I'm in this race. I'm a leader that is about results, not the rhetoric. We can sit here and play petty games and name call, but that doesn't help anybody. I'm here because I want to be your next city council president. I want to make this city safer and better for everybody, and I'm asking you to help us change direction. When you go in that voting booth, check Mike Russell for change.
Ms. Archibald, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you. As I've been on the campaign trail, I've heard a lot that's been wrong with the city, but I can tell you after having serving as long as I have, that we have a great opportunity here to elect a leader who knows how to get the accomplishments that you deserve. And so complaining and throwing rocks and showing all the things that are wrong doesn't help. And I haven't seen any of the people here today at City Hall trying to help. I have been actually helping, and I want to continue doing that.
One duty of the council president is to serve as acting mayor if the incumbent dies or otherwise leaves office. This is not a completely theoretical idea in a time of a pandemic and a mayoral candidate under federal indictment, among other examples. How are you qualified and prepared to serve as the mayor of Atlanta?
Imagine that dreadful day when we are in a crisis of leadership. I, as council president, would have already served for many terms on the legislative body. They would know me, they would trust me, there would be stability in the recognition that at least we wouldn't have someone trying to find out where the bathroom is in the face of a crisis. I have that legislative experience. I have served through 5 different terms of different mayors. I understand the executive branch as well. So stability in times of crisis is important. I have voted on, vetted, considered all the personnel papers that have happened, so I know the bureaucracy. For you, the citizens, I know you. To be elected 5 times, I have to know you and you have to know me. And it will be a challenging time, but we will navigate together with experienced, steady, trusted leadership.
So you get elected as city council president. What is the first political action you take?
Because of our new voting law, by the end of November, we will know who will be our mayor, our council president, and our council district representatives. In December, I will hold a meeting with all of the council members because we have all been out on the campaign trail. We have all heard from you. It's time now to translate that conversation and that talk into action. As a council, only the zoning issues will carry over to the new term. It will be a complete reset legislatively. The council president can introduce no legislation, but I can navigate and help convince and work with colleagues to identify those next steps, given our conversations with all of you all these weeks and months. We'll also meet with the mayor because the policy direction of the city will be set by the council but will be carried out through the mayor. There's got to be a partnership there. Those would be my first action steps.
I'd like to ask all of you, what would that look like as council president, and what would that look like when coordinating with the mayor?
Well, it looks like for me, some work that we've already done is a good foundation. I'm proud of the legislation that I passed that established a requirement for every committee to have on a quarterly basis, every commissioner come to every committee of purview and explain their budget, explain their benchmarks, and explain where there are challenges that need to be addressed. That's very good legislation that has helped the council look at next steps and ways to correct situations. The other legislation that I'm proud of is the hiring now of an inspector general. This is a person who is not political, is not hired or fired by the council, but is a second or third set of eyes to look at what's happening in our city, to hold all of the commissioners, the elected officials, and those who are doing your work, serving you, that they are being held accountable. This is just a start. We must continue to do more in the space of transparency. Open trust checkbook needs to be more robust, but it is all about being true to you.
You all have widely varying levels of campaign contributions and types of contributors who are seeking access to you if you win. What do your campaign contributors say about you and your campaign?
Well, I have a number of contributions that have come from voters who have voted for me for the last 5 terms, and that is a vote of confidence. And they are excited about having the opportunity to have someone that they have trusted for 20 years to go up to a higher office and continue to represent the citizens of Atlanta. I am honored to have been endorsed by Emily's List. That is an organization that is supportive of women's issues, and I am proud of that endorsement. And as a result of that, I'm getting contributions from those who believe in women reproductive rights. I'm proud of the legislation where we have now, for the first time in the city, we have a Women's Reproductive Rights Council, and we have appointed someone to represent Council Districts 5, 6, and 7. And so the other supporters that I've had have been people who've done business with the city. I'll just own that. And they know that I am all about good government, and they want to continue with strong, competent leadership.
So we've heard about your professional experiences and your background. What are you like when you're not at work, when no one is looking? What is your personality? What makes you tick?
Well, this will sound like pandering, but one of my favorite stations is PBS. I am addicted to British mysteries and British comedy, and so it is one of the ways that I relax. I'm an avid reader. My dog Tokyo, who's in stage 1 renal kidney failure, is my love, and I love taking walks with him. And of course, my mom, who lives with me in her 90s, it's a pleasure to still have that generation of hope and experience in my home. And so family, walking my dog, looking at PBS, reading a great book is the way Archie Bong likes to relax.
What would be the first thing you would do to combat the crime issue here in Atlanta?
I would like to see implementation of legislation I have pending, which will require every gas station operator to have cameras on every gas pump in the city. It should not be dangerous and scary to put gas in your car. Thank you.
Please give your closing statement.
Thank you. I am a daughter of Atlanta. My mom and dad met at Morehouse and Spelman College and decided to raise their family here. My dad was the second African-American on the DeKalb County Commission. My mom is a retired Atlanta public school teacher. I'm a product of APS, and so is my daughter. Service is in my DNA. It would be my honor to continue to serve you. As you've heard, our city is in crisis. This is not a time for on-the-job training. This is time for experienced, strong, proven leadership. You know, they say often that the form of government in Atlanta is a strong mayor form of government. I disagree. We can have a strong legislative body. What does that mean? We can have a legislature that provides that check and balance through the city council. I'm the only one on this stage who has ever served on council, who's ever been on a committee, who's ever chaired a committee. For an Atlanta that is safe, and a legislature and a city council that is strong, vote for Natalie Archibong.